What's up guys, it's Lionel the Builder back again with another video, and today I'm going to react to a couple interesting videos within our Discord that I've been meaning to react to later. I was about to just watch them, but I said let me go ahead and make a video. So here we are. I've got a couple good ones in here, man, that I haven't watched yet, but we're going to start with that's a tough one. I don't know if I'm in the mood to stop celebrating incompetence. But let's start with Firebase in JavaScript in 100 seconds. Yeah, that was loud. Hold on. Get the sound right. Turn that down just a little bit.
JavaScript, a high-level single-threaded, garbage-collected, interpreted, or just-in-time compiled, prototype-based, multi-paradigm dynamic language with a non-blocking event loop. Made famous.
Let's listen to that one more time. I'm looking for something that I don't understand yet, so I can pause it and talk about it.
JavaScript, a high-level single-threaded, garbage-collected, interpreted, or just-in-time compiled, prototype-based, multi-paradigm dynamic language with a non-blocking event loop. Made famous for...
There's definitely a couple things I want to zoom in on that. For instance, garbage collected being one, but let's just watch it because this is supposed to be a reaction, not a tutorial. In the future, I think we're gonna watch that again, and we're gonna pause at every single thing, zoom in, research it, and talk about it when we're in teaching mode. But right now we're in watching mode. Let's keep it rocking.
For building websites. It was created in 1995 in just 1 week by Brendan Eich with the goal of adding an easy-to-learn scripting language to the Netscape browser. It was originally named Mocha, but the genius marketing people of the time wanted it to sound like that sexy new Java language. Today, it's a fully featured language that continues to evolve through the ECMAScript standard. It's most well known for building front-end web applications because it's the only language other than WebAssembly that is natively supported in browsers. However, anything that can be built with JavaScript will be built with JavaScript, like server-side applications with NodeJS, mobile applications with React Native or Ionic, and desktop apps with Electron. It's an interpreted scripting language, but tools like the V8 engine and Chromium use a just-in-time compiler to convert it to machine code at runtime. It's also excellent.
Hold on. Let me run that back a little bit. Just-in-time compiling. Just-in-time compiling means that it is compiling constantly, right? I've heard that.
Chromium use a just-in-time compiler to convert it to machine code.
All code that converts to machine code in parallel then executed immediately. Yeah. So it's compiling constantly within your browser.
At runtime. It's also excellent at handling I/O-intensive jobs, despite the fact that it's a single-threaded language made possible by a non-blocking event loop that can queue up work in the background without blocking the main thread. To get started, create a file ending in .js. Your code will start executing from the global context. Use the console to log a value with the built-in debugger. Now think about where you want to run this file. Is it a front-end browser or a back-end Node.js server? In the browser, you can reference it with a script tag, then the browser will execute it when you open that HTML file. On a website, JavaScript is often used to grab an element from the DOM. Document query selector will grab the first button, then we can assign it to a variable with either var, let, or const. Var is the OG way to do it, but is typically avoided. Let is for variables that can be reassigned, while const is for variables that cannot be reassigned. Now, to make the button interactive, we can add an event listener to it by defining a function for the onClick event. We can use the function keyword here or the more concise arrow syntax. Now, the event loop will execute this function whenever a new click occurs. Functions are first-class objects to support functional programming patterns, but JavaScript also supports classes and inheritance for object-oriented patterns. Even though it's single-threaded, it can do...
Dude, how is he so accurate, so right, so precise, without saying any, okay, obviously it's a script, right? It's a script, it's a faceless channel. He could just be straight up reading and then going back and editing it, but still, man, shout out to Fire shit, because this is awesome. I hope that people who are watching this understand this, because I know I'm not really pausing or explaining anything. I mean, he's just cooking. I'm letting him cook.
Work asynchronously with the Promise API, which also supports the async await syntax. JS code can also run on the server thanks to the Node.js runtime. Instead of buttons on a web page, it interacts with things like the file system API. Execute your code on the server by pulling up the terminal and entering the Node command. This has been JavaScript in 100 seconds. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want to.
It's JavaScript in 100 seconds, bro. What are you gonna say about that? Later though, for real, I'm gonna keep this video in here because I'm gonna go back and everything will stop I'm gonna make a video called like learning JavaScript, because damn, that's basically all you need right there, and I'll just have to pause it on every single thing, and then we'll talk about it. We'll dive deep. But all right, let's see what this one is about, man. Time to stop celebrating incompetence.
All right, we're doing it. You know what? I see myself.
Never mind, it's the Primogen. I thought that was gonna be something else. Hold on, we'll go back to that one later. The rise of bullshit jobs. Hold on. What is this? End-to-end encryption. Interesting. Tech lead? Nah. Okay, here we go. How I mastered coding with these 4 easy steps.
Do you know why most new programmers fail within their first year? It's not because they lack talent or resources, it's because they are not doing these 4 things. I was struggling with coding for months and I was about to quit until I discovered these 4 steps that completely changed my approach. And this is not just some generic advice. What I'm about to share with you is something that I have tried out in this exact order and it worked. I've also recommended the same.
Shout out to the Do-Rag gang, 2 guys on YouTube rocking a do-rag. Come as you are.
4 things to anyone that asks, how can I do this coding thing right? I'm like, do these 4 things and thank me later. At the end of this video, I'll also be sharing my time frame and how long it took me to complete each phase. Trust me, you'll be shocked.
Yo, that setup, you see that setup? That setup is crazy. I need to get one of those sideways like monitors like that, man. I wish I could show y'all my setup. I got 3 going still, but still, man, that's dope.
To complete each phase. Trust me, you'll be shocked.
And a stand-up desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining for the first time, my name is Levi. I'm a software developer and I make videos about tech and lifestyle. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. The first step to mastering software development is understanding the fundamentals of programming. Listen, you cannot make progress if you don't understand the fundamentals. I literally cannot stress this enough. I understand, programming is exciting. You're tempted to start learning that new framework and building crazy projects. Don't be too quick to start jumping into complex frameworks or start building complex projects without you.
He's right, and I'm guilty of that. I dove straight in without understanding the fundamentals. For real, that's another everyday struggle. I've been having to double back and relearn ever since then, because it's like building a house and starting with the furniture inside, or starting with the ceiling fan, or starting with the roof. If you don't start with the fundamentals, that would be laying a proper floor and walls or something like that. And React is not a fundamental. One of the first things that I built was my portfolio website. I built it with Gatsby.js, and I just looked everything up. I still do kind of encourage people to do that sometimes, to break out of tutorial hell, but still, you're gonna pay for it later, man. You might as well just do it right the first way and build it up proper. Like, when you're trying to learn the code, I think that the best thing that you should do, and if I could run it back and do it again myself, I would come up with a seriously structured plan, write it down inside a notebook or in a Google document, and follow it, starting with fundamentals first. Facts, bro.
You understanding the fundamentals of programming. You are just calling for frustration. For me, when I was learning to code, learning the fundamentals was very difficult for me. It was really difficult for me to understand the concepts of control statements, but looking back, that was actually the easiest part of my journey. Why? Because every advanced concept in programming builds on the fundamentals. What are the fundamentals, you're asking?
Advanced concepts build on the fundamentals. That's so true. That is so true. So when you're so what was I doing? Learning how to write components, learning how to manage state before really understanding functions and what like they said, just in time compilation is, and all of that other beforehand previous stuff.
I'm talking about your variables, basic syntax, data structures and algorithm, control statements, loops, functional programming, debugging.
Variables, basic syntax, control statements, DSA. What is DSA? Loops, functional programming, debugging, GitHub. Yep. See, you could write something down like that for yourself. Make sure you understand all of these things front to back, left to right, sideways, and upside down, and then proceed to build.
Plugin, Git, and GitHub. These are the fundamentals you need to understand to master programming. Notice how I said understand and not know. There is a huge difference between knowing something and understanding something. Please don't get this wrong. For example, you might know how to write a for loop, but do you understand the intricacies behind running a for loop? Do you understand when to use a specific loop over the other? These are the things you will understand when you take your time and learn your fundamentals.
That's another one. So with me, my strategy, it's not like I didn't have no strategy at all. I definitely had a strategy. It was just inefficient. Like he said, there's a difference between knowing something and understanding something. What I told myself, since I was trying to do it as fast as possible against all odds and no matter what, right? My plan was to at least know the language. I blew through courses from Free Code Camp, 100 Devs, and Team Treehouse because I just wanted to know that I have heard of these things before. Even if I didn't understand how they fully worked, even if I couldn't really, do it perfectly, I at least wanted to make sure that when I was talking to my boss or my lead dev or another developer one day, and they said, you know what arrow syntax is, right? That I could remember and know, like, oh yeah, yep, I know exactly what that is. You know what a function is. You know what a for loop is. You know what a while condition is. You know what the event loop is, right? These are all things that because if you go to any course and you start at the first lesson and you make it to the 50th lesson, it's going to show you everything. But if I could run it back, I am running it back, zooming in, writing these things my own, and actually understanding them as if I was trying again from the beginning to where now I understand them. I don't just know it. I used to think that I needed to know the language as in like I've heard of it before. I may not know it perfectly and I'll just look it up and dive deeper whenever I need to. And that's what I did. And I'm just saying that's why it's been such a struggle. It's been so hard. But see what we're saying now, it's such a tricky thing to talk about because we're always trying to get out of tutorial hell, right? And now what we're saying is like stay there, simmer and cook a little bit longer in there until you're well done, until you're really ready to pop out. But when you pop out, you got to have the right skills. So it's a tricky thing, man, because it's always going to be that battle. Am I ready? Am I not ready? But I'll tell you straight up, I dove out there before being properly cooked, properly ready. You know what I mean? But it's all good, man. No matter, regardless of which way you do, at least you're in tech. At least we're out here trying. At least we're out here learning, and we're growing.
When it comes to learning the fundamentals, don't put yourself on a time crunch. I know there are videos out there that says how to master coding in 1 week. Ignore those videos. Take as much time as you need and understand your fundamentals. Now you have your fundamentals taken care of, cool, calm, collected. On to the next one. When you hear the term software engineering, imagine it as a large umbrella that encompasses various areas of technology. There is mobile development, web development, cloud computing, embedded systems, DevOps. Every software engineer specializes on one thing, or sometimes two, but that one thing is what they swear by. That one thing is the only thing they can do with their eyes closed.
Shout out to the editing, bro. You got an editor, or is this you? How many? Bro has only 800 subscribers and is editing like that, man. You're a real one, bro. I'm about to give you. You got another subscriber right here, right now.
It's closed. That is what they specialize in. You've gotten your fundamentals right. Now it's time for you to look for something to specialize in. There are two ways to go from here, and there are no wrong choices. You can either follow your passion or follow the industry demands. Both ways are very much valid. But I would say only
This channel is gonna blow up, man. Look at the quality. Look at the editing. Look at the color grade. My bad. I'm getting distracted.
or follow the industry demands. Both ways are very much valid. But I would say only one increases your chances of being hired like ASAP. You already know what I'm talking about. The whole idea behind specializing on one thing is so that you're channeling all your energy on learning only that one thing. If you choose to specialize in web development, it means you're going all in into learning JavaScript, React, Python, APIs, and all the web development nitty-gritty. I just can't stress this enough. It's very important you specialize in one thing. Some of the best engineers I've ever come across in my life are all specialists instead of generalists. For me, in case you're wondering, I specialize in mostly backend operations for both mobile apps and web applications. You've mastered your fundamentals and you've chosen what you want to specialize in. Now it's time for you to practice. In my opinion, this is the most crucial stage in mastering anything, not just programming. We've all heard that saying, practice makes what?
That messed me up. That beat was about to drop crazy.
To specialize in. Now it's time for you to practice. In my opinion, this is the most crucial stage in mastering anything, not just programming. We've all heard that saying, practice makes what? Perfect. You need to practice. You need to build those projects. I understand it can be hard sometimes to come up with project ideas, but one way I'm able to come up with project ideas, and this applies to people who are mostly interested in web development or app development. Go to dribble.com. This is a website where UI UX designers showcase their projects. Just scroll through and look for any projects you like and develop it. My most recent project, Scribbler, was an idea from behance.com, which is similar to Dribble. By the way, go check out Scribbler. I'm going to leave a link to the project in the description. Also, I've made the code repository public so you can go fork it from my GitHub profile. If you're doing something outside of web development or mobile development, try to work on projects that solve a problem in your daily life. It doesn't matter if there's already a solution out there. Copy that solution and make it better. Always make sure your project is solving some kind of problem. That's what potential employers really care about in your project.
That's facts. One of the things that I'm the most proud of that y'all always hear me talk about whenever I talk about my past and my portfolio was when I was working at a warehouse and I made an app to help solve the problem of it was a pallet management system. It was a warehouse app. There was pallets in the sky. We needed to figure out which was by which customer, turned that into a whiteboard first on the floor, and then turn that into an app on the phone. You can see it inside my portfolio to this day, and it definitely helped me get hired at my first role. So he's right about that. Come up with a project idea that solves a real world problem that you're dealing with. That's a great way to get out of tutorial hell, which I also tell people as well. Think of something and make it yourself aside from tutorials, aside from your courses. You have to start building something aside from that. I know it's hard to come up with an idea, so I always say, hey, for the first thing, just make yourself a website. How about your portfolio website? You know, look up how to do that on your own. You know, don't just watch a video of someone making a portfolio website and then copying it. You need to go step by step by step on your own with just documentation. Or, you know, but making sure that you are making your own repo, handle the hosting, domain, all of that stuff on your own. And, or even better, if you come up with something like where you actually need to make a server on the back end and then have still a front end and connect the two, send the information back and forth like that as well.
They don't really care about the fancy animations or pictures. What problem are you solving? My most recent project, Scribbler, solves two major problems in my opinion. It runs a passwordless authentication system, so signing up and signing in is a breeze. That might seem like a very common practice, but look around and see how many applications you use on a daily basis and how many utilize a passwordless authentication system. Very few. Secondly, the article recommendation algorithm was built in a way I feel all social media recommendation algorithms should work. Interest and relevance. Those are the two most important things that matters when you're building a recommendation algorithm. And that's exactly why I implemented it in my project. So that right there is solving a problem. And honestly, I don't want to go into much technicality on how the code works, but if that's something you're interested in, please let me know in the comments. That was a very challenging project for me to work on, and I was really exposed to new concepts and technologies that I have never heard about before, and now I can implement that at any time, any day. And that is why it's important for you to build more projects.
My bad.
You will always learn something new in every project you build. The final icing on the cake, teach. I know this doesn't seem very obvious to you, but teaching is the secret sauce to this whole recipe. See, when you learn something, you practice that thing, you keep doing that thing over and over again, your brain notices the pattern and you develop muscle memory for that thing. But now, when you take it a step further to constantly tell or explain that thing to someone, it reinforces your own understanding. And this is because teaching requires you to organize your knowledge and find effective ways to communicate it, and also address any gaps in your understanding. You can start doing this by explaining what you've learned to your friends or to your followers. You can do this in form of videos or writing articles. Most of my videos here on YouTube and social media is me basically reinforcing everything I've learned by teaching it back to you guys. All I can say is do not underestimate the power of teaching. I promise to share how long it took me to complete each phase, and I want to emphasize that there is no need to rush. It's quite the opposite actually. It took me a solid year to fully understand the fundamentals of programming, and another year and a half to specialize in web development. I've been practicing ever since, and I'm still on my journey to perfection. The key takeaway here is for you to move at your own pace. For some people, mastering the fundamentals of programming might take them a year like it did for me, but for some others, it could take them 6 months or even 3 months. What matters is that you're progressing at a pace that works best for you. I really hope you guys found value in this, and I understand that mastering programming takes time, but I promise if you follow these exact steps in the order it was listed, you're definitely...
Oh, my
Some
bad.
people, mastering the fundamentals of programming might take them a year like it did for me, but for some others, it could take them 6 months or even 3 months. What matters is that you're progressing at a pace that works best for you. I really hope you guys found value in this, and I understand that mastering programming takes time, but I promise
There it is. I was looking for that. Fundamentals, practice, specialize, and teach. So fundamentals, like you said, the basics of everything and having a deep understanding in them. Practicing those basics, specializing in one thing. Don't be hopping around and trying to be a generalist, trying to do every single thing out there, and then teaching what you learn.
if you follow these exact steps in the order it was listed, you're definitely going to see results. Please make sure you like and share this video to your software developer friends. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. I'm actually on a quest to get to 1,000 subscribers very soon, so please do your part by subscribing. It's definitely going to go a long way for me. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in my next video.
Man, that was a great video. It was great. All right, so yeah, we got that one. Do we want to watch Tech Lead right now? I see we're at 20 minutes. So yeah, if you made it to the end, shout out to you. Hop in the Discord with us. This is the Digital Builders Discord. The other links are in the description as well. We're basically a group of engineers. Some of our OGs been doing this for 10 years. Most of us are just trying to break in, people who are trying to learn how to code. Please like, share, subscribe, send me a message, join the Discord, join the school. If you have any questions, I'm always here. Reach out to me. We'll be doing this for years and years to come. I'm Lionel the Builder, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.